Okay, so these are both fats or lipids. Now, this top one here is unsaturated, and this bottom one is saturated. Now, you can see that there's a difference between the two. This one is missing 2 hydrogen bonds on the carbons, and the saturated one is full. All the carbons have hydrogens attached to them. Now, it depends on if it's saturated or not, depending on by the type of food you're eating, but when it enters your mouth, it will be mechanically digested by your teeth. This will break it down into a smaller form, but it's still not ready to be fully digested. Now, it goes down through your esophagus into your stomach. Once it's in your stomach, the rugae will, its rolls in the rugae will break it down even more. This will rumble it up and break it down into an even smaller form, but it's still not ready to be absorbed and digested. Then, after it's done in the stomach, it will send it down into the duodenum, which is the first part of the small intestine.
Right. So at this point, our fats are in the small intestine, but they're still fats and they haven't turned into the smallest form fatty acids yet. Now this is where the liver now releases something called bile. Now what bile is not actually an enzyme, but what it is, it's an emulsifier. So what that means is that it speeds up the process of the breakdown of the fats. So it breaks down the larger droplets of fats and breaks them into smaller droplets. And so that makes it easier for the enzyme that's released by the pancreas, lipase. So lipase is released by the pancreas into the small intestine to help break down those droplets into the smallest form, fatty acids. So the bile and the lipase work together. The bile helps it break down, and then the lipase finishes the job, turns them into fatty acids. So now they're in the small intestine, they're traveling, they're getting absorbed through the walls, through the villi, just like carbohydrates and proteins, however, different from them. Instead of being absorbed through the circulatory system, they're being absorbed through the lymph system. Now this is because fats are too insoluble to be dissolved in liquids, and they're also too big to be able to dissolve. So instead of going through the blood, they go through the lymph system, and they get absorbed and distributed to the rest of the body where it's needed. Now once they're all absorbed, it goes through the large intestine. This is the process in which your food starts turning into feces. Your large intestines will start drawing out water, start absorbing the nutrients that are there, and eventually it'll be all ready, turned into feces, stored in the rectum until it's ready to come out the anus, and it comes out as feces.